Welcome to episode one of A Wealth Story. This is the finance and investment journey of a 25-year-old. So this is really just an introduction to the full series. So this is going to be a pretty quick video, but there's a few points or a few questions that I wanted to answer in jumping into this to give you a proper introduction to what I plan on doing. So first off, why does this channel exist? Well, my whole goal here is to share on a weekly basis all the financial decisions that I'm making, where my investments are going, what I'm doing with my income, how I'm thinking about money. Basically, all the decisions that I make that have anything to do with my financial well-being. So I'm going to be sharing that on a weekly basis. And basically the KPI here is total net worth. So as you can see on the screen here, I have a graph that displays basically all my accounts and their total values. And I'm going to be doing this on a weekly basis in a pretty transparent fashion in terms of how much am I spending, where's my money going in terms of those expenses, what are my biggest barriers to growth. I'll be sharing as much as possible. Second of all, why am I doing this? So kind of an extension of that first question. Really for me, it's all about documenting the process. So I enjoy documenting. I enjoy seeing the growth of what I'm doing. And this takes the form of a variety of things that I do, whether it be for my career side, my financial well-being, my personal growth and what I'm trying to learn and get better at. But really, it's just a system of accountability where week over week, I'm rigorously documenting my expenses, my income, the overall growth of what I'm doing here. So that's what it's all about. That's why I'm doing this. And probably since March of 2019 is where it really kicked in. And I've gone back farther than that to pinpoint all the other metrics, all the way back to when I first started my corporate career. But really, since March of this past year is when I started documenting almost everything. Basically, all my expenses. I didn't create videos or anything. I didn't do weekly updates. This is the first time I'm doing this, but I'm starting now and I'm going to continue doing this. So, if this is something you're interested in, if it seems interesting to you and I can kind of share my learnings, feel free to subscribe or whatever. But there's a couple of other things I want to talk about. What's my current financial situation? Right now, I just turned 25 in December of 2019, so looking forward to jumping into 2020. At the moment, you'll notice that I have a large amount of cash, which is kind of surprising because I do like putting my money into vehicles where it can grow. But the point is, I'm still living at home right now, so I got to move out. I got to get out of here, and I'm trying to hopefully buy a house that I can put some sweat equity into. So what that means is I need a large amount of capital available for both the down payment, the closing costs, all the other associated costs, and renovation costs, most likely, because I'm hoping to put some sweat equity in this place. Whatever I buy, I'll be sure to update you guys on what's going on there, but that explains where that's at. Aside from that, hopefully in future episodes within the next week or so, I'll be able to share kind of my investment strategy for FY20, what I'm planning to do there, where I think my money will go. It's tough because I have this big caveat of I'm not sure really what will happen once I get a house. It's going to be tricky. So we'll see what happens there. But overall, I've been happy with what's going on and the documenting process has gone well. So that kind of covers my goals a little bit. I'd say for right now, I'd love to have $45,000 to $50,000 in cash. Aside from that, I really think I should still be putting as much money as possible into my 401k, taking advantage of the employee stock purchase plan, which is this E-Trade account that you'll see is at $7,300, and that actually it ends at the end of January. So that'll be a nice little uptick in terms of the net worth here. So really, it's a system of put it into 401k, put it into employee stock purchase plan, maybe open a Roth IRA, might do that too. And then pretty much the rest is going into the house, renovation costs, closing costs, all the other costs that I'm probably not thinking of, not to mention the monthly mortgage that I'll have to deal with when that happens. The last point I'll make is, hey, if you find this sort of thing interesting, you want to see the decisions that I'm making, why I'm making those decisions, and hopefully that they're leading to the right outcomes, then feel free to follow along. Like I said, the last thing that I can guarantee here, or maybe the most important thing that I can guarantee here, is the transparency and the schedule. So the cadence of what I'm reporting out on. I'll be reporting out on a weekly basis. I'll be sharing as much as I can about all these decisions that I'm making, and hopefully, we'll see what happens, but hopefully that helps me to move in the right direction. I think I'm making the right decisions, but I also am pretty hungry to learn more about financials, investing. I don't know enough at the moment, but as I learn more, I'll be sure to share it on the channel. There's a ton of topics that I enjoy thinking about, discussing, talking about, but the problem is there's not too many people to discuss those things with. I mean, you can go on Reddit, you can go on YouTube, but I think the best way for me to get the conversation going is to kind of share my thoughts openly like this and then have them outright challenged. If people think that I'm making incorrect decisions, then awesome. feel free to challenge me and we can have a good discussion about it. But we'll see what happens here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe, and then I will chat with you next week. All right, catch you guys then.